The Art of War, Marriage Edition. So I love fighting with my husband at times because I get a lot of insight into what I've spent half my life not knowing. And with that being said, I love the fact that I can learn different aspects of how things are. Such as, basically, that the rule of fighting and engagement of friendly fire is something that I've always was curious about, and how and why people fight. So this is the conclusion I've come to today, and this is where I want to go. Part 1 on fighting is, so you get two people who are very different and who handle life very differently, and all of a sudden they come together. And what happens is, what inevitably will happen is they fight. Okay, why do they fight? Because one thinks one way, one thinks the other. Okay. So, after they have their blow up and their fight and everything else, what do they need to do? Okay. Well, what they need to do is very nicely and very calmly discuss after their fight. After their fight, what do you want to discuss and what do you think you should discuss? Okay, so what's a fight? Why is it? You have a fight, not walk out, have it, feel it, accept it, then start talking about it. This is the hardest fucking thing in the world, but if you can realize that you're married to a best friend, if you can realize that you guys were friends, at one point you guys were friends, that you cared about each other, that you loved each other, that you at one point said before God or whatever you believe, that you loved each other and that you were always going to be there for each other. That despite whatever you're going through, that they're just trials, that they're just little bitty tribulations that everyone goes through, and that you're nothing special when it comes to them. But it's the discussing, it's the stopping, it's the rationalization of what did you feel, what did you hear. That's the miscommunication. Is women want to say what did you feel, and men want to say what did you hear. Because the complexity of emotions aren't as complex as people make them out to be. Because the more that you discover about the brain, the more you realize that the brain lies to you. The brain gives you emotions and fucking lies to you. So if you feel like you're going crazy on most days, then maybe it's nothing special. Maybe it's hormonal. So it's not always the other person. It's not always the way you feel, he feels, or whatever. It's sometimes literally hormones are off balance and you need to get those checked. You know, everyone knows the art of fighting is the fact that you don't do this and you don't do that. But once you do, and you start like bringing the in-laws into it and shit like that, the art of war is simply how to fight fair. And if you can't fight fair, then fight. Deal with the fight, and then afterwards talk about it. Because all fighting is very loud talking and very loud getting to know each other. Because it's not the fighting that matters, it's after the fight. After the fight is what matters. Because it's how you deal with what you just put each other through. And if you can't deal with what you put each other through, that's what leads to resentment. That's what leads to the other stupid shit. A marriage can survive anything in this world. A marriage can survive infidelity. A marriage can survive anything. But you have to be the one to accept what happened and move on from it. That does not mean you leave someone paying for it constantly. Yes, you're going to have shit in the past and you're going to make that person pay. Unfortunately, that's human nature. Everyone does it. You accept the fact that that's what you're doing. And that's what the talk is after the fight, is saying, this is what you felt, this is what you did to me, this is how I felt, this is what I did to you, this is how I felt. This is adulthood. This is not hard. You're not 5 anymore. Quit fighting like you're 5. Because fighting isn't about aggression. Fighting is simply getting to know somebody, disagreeing with that person, and then finding out why you disagreed with them. And I know this is long-winded, and I know I don't talk very well, but I just learned it. I'm passionate about it because had I known this then, and trust me, I read every fucking marriage book there ever was. All it told me was learn how to communicate. Well, what do you mean? Because I apparently can't communicate because I've been married twice. You know, I was married, this is my second time, I need to know what the fuck I'm doing. Well, you know, fucking marriage experts don't know what to do, but you pay for it, right? So, don't cut out, I'm sorry, the reception's horrible. But I guess my point is that accept the fact that you're two different people. Accept the fact that you love each other. Accept the fact that you're willing to go through anything, and you probably already have gone through everything together. And a fight's a fight. You're gonna break up over a fucking fight. Okay, and then if you don't like fighting, but you like the makeup, then make the makeup worthwhile. Don't just fucking have a fight, have sex, and you think you're over it, because the resentments, the heartache, the pain, the aggravation, the stress, all you're doing is it's still there. Because if it wasn't still there, that would come up the next fight. Resolve, and they will keep coming up. But if you keep sounding like a broken record over and over again at every fight, then shit isn't getting fixed. It's just, okay, we're both fighting, let's stop fighting because I'm tired of fighting. And then the next fight comes up, and everything that you didn't resolve, plus some, just got added to the mix. So, I want to say I'm not a marriage expert. I've been married 3 times. I've been through a lot of shit. But I'll tell you one thing, even though I've been married 3 times, I'm getting it right with this one because I want to, because I see the value in it. So look long and hard if you see the value in it. Am I saying get a divorce? No. But I'm saying at one point you got married for a reason. And you need to figure out if it's the wrong reason or the right reason. And you got to figure out if you want to work at it or not work at it. But if marriage books keep popping up because people aren't getting it, the basic nature of the art of war is to fight fair. But if you can't fight fair, work it out right afterwards. Understand each other so you can resolve the issue for the fight. You can resolve the issue for the fight when the next fight comes, and there's always another fight. You're 2 different people. If you were the same person, it would be boring. There's always going to be another fight. People who say they never fight, never marry. You know, then they got all their fighting out. They were probably childhood sweethearts, and they got all their fighting out before they got married. Just saying. So, that's probably the only thing I can think of is if